everyone. It's Kenji here with Ecotone Explorer. We're here at hallowed grounds of the Laguna Seca Raceway. And we're here at the Sea Otter Classic in Monterey, California. And we're here with Maurice Tierney, who is the CEO and founder and publisher of Dirt Rag magazine. So Maurice, thanks for joining us here. We're going to talk a little bit off script about some of the nuances of the industry side of bikes. You know, you've been in this a long time. It sounds like 30 years, so even 1 year older than the Sea Otter itself.
That's right.
Right. And so tell me a little bit about yourself, why you started Dirt Rag, and where you're coming at in the industry side of cycling.
Through the magic of desktop publishing, the light bulb was illuminated, and within a year after getting my first mountain bike, I was passionately creating a little zine for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, so I could be in the bike industry and not pay retail.
Ah.
But no, seriously, it started with a very small organic idea with very low expectations. I had no idea I would be doing this 30 years later, and we started with 2,000 copies distributed at mountain bike events in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, and it grew and grew, and people liked what we were doing, and the rest is history. Yeah, we've just been here doing it for a long time.
Right on. Well, I'll take that back. And so, my question for you, you've been in this industry a long time. You've seen a lot of change, and not just the means of publication and the onset of the internet and digital publishing and blogging and all. We could probably go for hours on that alone. But what I'm really interested to talk to you about is kind of what you see as the industry's approach to reaching new communities and reaching out to populations that aren't traditionally part of the bike industry, and how do you as a media person help that along? And are there events or things that you've been to here at the Sea Otter this year that might speak to that and the industry's desire or lack of to include new people?
Well, I mean, our mission has always been to get more people on bikes, and to the point that we started another bike magazine called Bicycle Times. It had a lot of fans, but I don't think it got the industry support that it could have. And I mean, the bottom line is I feel like the industry is a little too invested in racing and technology, and the enthusiast at the expense of a lot of people, a lot of communities, and people that, the more butts on bikes.
Yeah, I know that's been a goal of the industry for a long time, but what are they doing about it? Or what are you doing about it?
I mean, I don't know if you want to use this, but I mean, I tried to start a magazine, and it didn't get supported because we're all hell-bent on racing and technology. And there's a lot of things affecting the bike industry in my small view. Things are getting disrupted in the world right now, and you can talk about bike share. You can talk about bike share. You can talk about Lyft, Uber, scooters. I live in the Bay Area, and it's all super disruptive there. And I think we as an industry are more inclined, and as humans, we're more inclined to just complain about it and not deal with it. And we really need to be dealing with it, just like the bicycle industry needs to deal with the internet. I don't think, we're, as a magazine, we're constantly trying to deal with, what's the latest and greatest way that we can help you market your products today you know, which will be different next week. And
Yeah.
and trying to keep up is really tough.
Kind of reframe it is, as a media person in the industry, part of your role, as you mentioned earlier, is to help tell the story of the bike industry to more people and to get more butts on bikes. I think that's a stated goal of People for Bikes, which is one of the main advocacy organizations in the bike world. You're a media leader here. You've been doing this for 30 years. As a media person, what's your role, and how do you change with the times and help the industry reach new people?
Well, for our own business, our dirt, you know, we have Dirt Rag Magazine. We have 2 bicycle festivals. They're called Dirt Fest. We have a website, and we just try and reach as many people as we can. Dirt Rag, we try and keep it for, you know, on the down low, you know, more ground-based, grassroots. You know, it's about Joe and Jane mountain biker. It's not about throwing yourself off a cliff so much as it is about trail riding, cross country, or whatever, and keeping it real. You know, we a lot of our readers, they don't want to read about $10,000 bikes. They want to read about a $2,000 bike. Or we were just having this conversation today. It's like, my friend wants to get into mountain biking. They have $400. I'm like, you know, yes, you can go mountain biking on a $400 bike, and you will love it. Yeah. It's fantastic. Get out there. Riding a bicycle is like the best thing in the world. It just feels great. And it solves a lot of the world's problems, like especially if you start using it as transportation. It seems pretty simple, and it's a freedom machine, you know. It's like the wind in your hair. It's like it gives you that sense of self-reliance when you start to use the bicycle for practical purposes, you know.
How's Dirt Rag? You know, through hiring is one way you mentioned, sort of recruiting people. You're in the Bay Area, it sounds like, so you have access to a pretty diverse crowd.
Yeah.
People like Phil.
No, I've learned a lot in the Bay Area. It's very diverse.
You bet.
I love it. I love it. I don't think I could leave because I just couldn't. I would miss that diversity, and we're going to go out and we're going to take the initiative to find diverse people and write stories about them, and that's as simple as that.
That's a huge plus.
It's kind of affirmative. I don't know if you want to call it affirmative action, but yeah, it's true. And we want to see a different face of cycling.
We
want to show, you know, we have the power to do that. We have the power to show a different face of cycling.
Yeah.
So
I would say you have a responsibility.
And yes, a responsibility, and I hope we can live up to that.
Yeah. You don't want to commit too far. You know, I understand you don't want to commit too far down the road and call yourself out before you really, you know, made some difference. Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, and showing some different faces, showing some women, showing some young people. A few old guys with gray beards is okay, but you know, I think that's part of growing the industry, is showing some different faces, and then people see that and like, oh, I guess I could go do that, huh? Because when you watch the Tour de France, it's like, you know, some kid in the inner city that grew up, you know, speaking a different language, they're not really seeing themselves out, you know, on the teams for the most part. Yeah. You know, so where are they going to see that? You know, could they be influenced through your magazine or through discovering you online, through their friends who might be mountain biking, and that you come into it and you realize that, hey, there's more people like me here. This is a home that I could work in, that I could write for, that I could create products for, that I could work in retail, you know, and that's really where it starts, at least in my view, is work in a shop. You know, that's how most of us started, right? Yeah. It's like we got passion around something, and we got a job in a shop, and we felt comfortable enough to apply, you know, and that starts this whole chain of supply chain of people, you know, because Retail stores are good farming ground for reps, and then reps are a good farming ground for brands, and then brands beget other, expertise in brands, and you got yourself a career after, 10 or 20 or 30 or how many years I've been doing this, Eric? Never mind. So, about as long as Maurice. So, well, thanks for making some time, Maurice.
Yeah.
Maurice Tierney, CEO and publisher of Dirt Rag Magazine.
Buy my magazine.
Yes, buy it. It's a nice magazine too. It's substantial, obviously very colorful.
Future of mountain biking. Just stay tuned to this channel.
That's right.
Keep it locked to Dirt Rag.
Where do we find it online?
Yeah, if we wanted to find Dirt Rag online, where'd we go?
DirtRagMag.com.
DirtRagMag.com. Right on. So this is Kenji signing off to you after meeting with Maurice here at Dirt Rag. He's the dirtbag from Dirt Rag.
Dirtbag.
And we're here at Laguna Seca Raceway at the Sea Otter Classic. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe to our channel or leave us a note and we'll respond in kind. This is Kenji signing off from Ecotone Explorer. We'll see you around.